Kevin Harvick has publicly endorsed Kyle Larson's controversial statements regarding the Xfinity Series. Harvick's firm support comes after Larson openly stated his intention to embarrass both competitors and NASCAR itself when competing in the Development Series. This remarkable endorsement from Harvick has generated significant discussion throughout racing circles. The comments came after Larson's dominant performance at Bristol Motor Speedway, where he won both the Xfinity and Cup Series races in the same weekend. Larson nearly completed a weekend sweep, finishing second in the Truck Series race. Larson initially stirred controversy when he appeared on Kevin Harvick's Happy Hour podcast and made an admission that shocked many fans. Larson stated,
"In Xfinity, I do get motivated, and this is going to come across like very cocky, but I want to embarrass them, honestly. I want to embarrass NASCAR a little bit because they just don't let Cup guys run anymore. And the kids, they probably think they're in a good spot and they don't know where the bar is really at."
The 2021 Cup Series champion didn't stop there. He explained his motivation for dominating Xfinity races.
"So I like to go run those Xfinity races and just get 10-second leads to let them realize that they've got a lot of room to improve. And I think that's only better for our sport. When those young guys can compete with Cup guys, they're better suited for the Cup Series once they get there."
Rather than distancing himself from these bold statements, Harvick fully endorsed Larson's position. On his podcast, Harvick said, "When I started Xfinity, there was 20 to 25 Cup Series guys in every Xfinity race. The thing that happens there is they teach you where to run on the racetrack. They teach you that you can drive your car harder. They teach you that you can run down pit road faster. They teach you all the things you need to be taught. Right now, we're on a 3-year plan for the Xfinity guys to be ready to race a Cup car." Harvick's comments strike at the heart of NASCAR's approach to driver development. The veteran racer believes limiting Cup drivers in lower series has weakened the competitive environment necessary for proper development. Harvick continued, "Cup is hard, but the drivers are great. Having those drivers in the Truck and the Xfinity races, yeah, we get tired of seeing them win, but it also teaches them how to do things the right way." Apparently, that's on Kyle Larson's agenda. This statement represents a direct challenge to NASCAR's current rules, which limit Cup drivers with more than 3 years of full-time experience to just 5 races annually in the Xfinity Series. These drivers are also prohibited from competing in the final 8 races of the season, including the playoffs. The restrictions were implemented to give Xfinity regulars more opportunities to win races, attract sponsors, and build their profiles. But according to Harvick and Larson, this approach is fundamentally flawed. Harvick didn't hold back in his criticism, stating that NASCAR has dumbed it all down and made everybody worse. His comments point to a significant disconnect between NASCAR's vision for driver development and what veterans like Harvick believe is necessary for preparing young drivers for Cup competition. To bolster his argument, Harvick highlighted Jesse Love's difficult Cup Series debut at Bristol. Love, despite being a talented Xfinity driver, finished 5 or 6 laps down in 31st position. For Harvick, this performance exemplifies how the current developmental ladder isn't adequately preparing young drivers for the challenges of Cup racing. "We've dumbed it all down," Harvick stated, arguing that limiting Cup drivers' participation in lower series has reduced the quality of competition. Young drivers miss crucial opportunities to learn from racing against the best, compromising their development. Larson's Bristol domination seems to support these claims. In the Xfinity race, he led an astounding 276 of 300 laps en route to victory. Meanwhile, in the Cup Series event, Larson commanded the race for 411 of 500 laps, decisively beating Denny Hamlin and ending Hamlin's 2-race winning streak. The impressive performance demonstrates the significant gap between Cup and Xfinity drivers that Larson referenced. His dominance served as a real-time demonstration of his point about where the bar really is for aspiring Cup competitors. Beyond driver development, Harvick argued that increased Cup driver participation in Xfinity would bring substantial benefits to the series as a whole. Harvick insisted, "You're going to bring sponsors back. You're going to bring more fans to the track. Attention to the series." This business perspective gains additional significance considering NASCAR is currently seeking a new title sponsor for the Xfinity Series starting in 2026. Reports indicate NASCAR is pursuing a $15 million per year deal after Comcast's departure. To facilitate this search, NASCAR has partnered with Clutch Sports Group, a prominent sports agency founded by Rich Paul, who is also known as the agent of NBA superstar LeBron James. The commercial strategy includes securing $10 million annually in rights fees, with an additional $5 million expected for marketing and activation efforts. What makes this developing story even more surprising is the reaction from some current Xfinity Series drivers. Rather than objecting to Larson's blunt assessment, several competitors have expressed support for his perspective. Ryan Ellis, driver of the number 71 Chevrolet for DGM Racing, posted on social media, "There's literally zero wrong with what Kyle Larson Racing said here. It's a race, and we're in a national NASCAR series. I know every Xfinity team and driver wishes they had access to the level of equipment and budget his team has, but that's part of racing." Brad Perez, a part-time racer for Alpha Prime Racing, shared similar sentiments. "TBHH, I'm with him. I'm not a fan of Cup teams in Xfinity. However, Cup drivers show us how it's done, and I'm with that 100%. Anytime I've had the chance to mix it up with Cup guys on a level-ish playing field, it's been a learning experience for me." These endorsements from current competitors add weight to Harvick and Larson's argument that Cup driver participation benefits, rather than hinders, the development of Xfinity regulars. The comments from Harvick and Larson have reignited a long-standing debate in NASCAR. For years, the sanctioning body has grappled with finding the right balance between giving Xfinity regulars opportunities to shine while maintaining the series' role as a development platform. Historically, the Xfinity Series, previously known as the Busch Series and Nationwide Series, regularly featured numerous Cup drivers. Stars like Dale Earnhardt Jr., who earned back-to-back titles in 1998 and 1999, learned from competing against established Cup drivers like Mark Martin. Harvick himself frequently competed in both series, using Saturday Xfinity races to sharpen his skills for Sunday Cup events. Similarly, Kyle Busch built his reputation by dominating across multiple series, setting records for wins in both Xfinity and truck competition. The current 5-race limit represents a compromise after years of adjustments. Initially, Cup drivers could compete without restrictions, leading to seasons where they dominated the championship despite not being full-time in the series. NASCAR gradually implemented stricter limitations in response to fan feedback and to create more opportunities for series regulars. But the pendulum may have swung too far, according to these veteran drivers. The debate centers on a fundamental question. Is the purpose of the Xfinity Series primarily to showcase its regular drivers or to develop talent for Cup competition? If development is the priority, Harvick and Larson make a compelling case that competing against Cup drivers provides invaluable experience that cannot be replicated when racing only against other developing drivers. The controversy also comes amid Larson's growing profile both on and off the track. Besides his Cup and Xfinity success, Larson is preparing for another attempt at the double, racing in both the Indianapolis 500 and Coca-Cola 600 on the same day in 2025. This crossover appeal and versatility have made him one of NASCAR's biggest stars. Harvick highlighted this growing star power, noting, "He's underrated in a lot of categories. He's not underrated as a driver, but he's underrated in a lot of categories off the racetrack." Now you're starting to see this personality from Kyle Larson, playing into the things that are said around him. Harvick even called Larson the most popular driver on the circuit currently. After beating Hamlin at Bristol, Larson told fans,
glad to stop his three-peat. We hate to see him win, so as I'm sure you guys do too, but it's just good to be back here in Victory Lane.
Harvick praised this development in Larson's public persona. "I love it. I love to see somebody playing the other side of the fence. Let the villain be the villain and let's antagonize. Let's poke the villain.